We have the highest credit card debt as a nation than we've ever had.
Trillion
so we are in a bad place financially. And people are ashamed. That's what breaks my heart is they're embarrassed. We had a man refinance this month, and he just thanked us over and over. He said, I've carried so much shame as a husband, a father. You have helped me so much to pay off all this debt. I just wish all those thousands of other men and women that are ashamed and digging the hole deeper. You just want to take the shovel and be like, stop digging. It's okay. You're not the first person to ever get in debt. We'll get you out.
Most people think mortgage strategy and real estate strategy is about interest rates. It's about whether your money works for you or traps you quietly over time. My guest today understands that at a level most people never will. Monty Felts isn't just a mortgage professional. He's a former international project executive who managed $14 billion and $40 billion energy projects for ExxonMobil and Chevron across Nigeria and South Korea. He walked away from a $250,000 overseas career, not because it was failing, but because he was capped. He wanted control. He wanted ownership. He wanted to build something that could outlive him. And then everything almost collapsed. Monty spent over $500,000, hit rock bottom, and had to confront some of the hard truths about leverage, about risk, and what playing it safe actually costs. Fast forward to today, in one of the toughest interest rate environments we've seen in years, Monty closed $55 million in loans, not by chasing interest rates, but by helping people see the consequences of their decisions before they make them. He works with homeowners, investors, and entrepreneurs who look wealthy on paper, but feel stuck, that feel stressed, or unsure what move actually gives them more financial freedom. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain. In this episode, we're going to break down things most people are getting wrong right now. And why so many people are equity rich but cash poor, the hidden costs on waiting on rates in their favor, whether paying off your mortgage faster actually makes you safer, how investors should be thinking about cash flow and leverage in this market, and how tools like Mortgage Coach reveal whether the decision gives you control or just comfort. If you're trying to build wealth, buy a home, do things intelligently and maximize the equity you already have, or just simply invest in real estate without guessing, this conversation is going to challenge how you think in a good way. Monty Felts, welcome to the show. So Monty, welcome to the Just Earned It podcast. I'm glad you got the memo in terms of the purple and the gray sport jacket.
That's how we do it. Yeah, we dress right.
I love it, man. It's the color of royalty. So before we jump in to talk about money, Monty, take us back. Take us back to, we were talking about Abilene Christian football. Take us back before mortgages.
Yeah, before mortgages. So grew up in a small West Texas town, Brownwood, Texas, 20,000 people. Football was king. We went to football games as much as we went to church, sadly. Not proud of that, but we were deep in it. We were aiming for state championships. We wanted to be the best. So we trained really hard in that. Went to Abilene Christian then, met my wife, Emily, there.
What position you play?
Played wide receiver.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Wasn't the fastest, but I could catch
you
anything
go.
you put out there.
There you go.
Yeah, so we had a great career at Abilene Christian. Met my wife there. We get a job in Lagos, Nigeria with ExxonMobil straight out of college and moved to third world country working on $1 billion ExxonMobil project. And man, we were two kids. We didn't have any kids yet. We were still kids. And
from Texas to Nigeria.
Yeah, we thought we were rich. We were making tax-free money. It was good.
Working for oil company.
Exactly. We got to travel every 2 months all over the world. So it was great. Yeah.
So you talked about your story about losing it all.
We did.
What was that?
So that's
process
how we
like?
built it all up, was overseas in oil and gas. We spent 12 years overseas in Nigeria, South Korea, had 2 kids in Korea. We really thought that was going to be the career, making $250,000 a year. We thought we're set.
Yeah.
So we had built up $500,000 in savings, and then I get the crazy idea to move back to Dallas, start a mortgage company, something that a good friend who played in the NFL for years advised me to do. He's kind of like an uncle. And he said, you should start a mortgage company. It's been good for 20 years, be good for 20 more. So we move back, start trying to get that off the ground. Don't know what we're doing. I'm paying franchise fees and salaries and rent and marketing, and we're $500,000 in it 2 years in before we turned it around.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're at the bottom, you're losing everything. What was the And we always talk about people think that they see you now, right?
Yeah.
They see you now successful,
Right.
you know, polished.
Right.
But they didn't see the top part. So what were your decision-making process when you're at the bottom there?
Just not to quit. Same thing as in football.
Yeah.
We used to have a little chant that we did in Brownwood before we go out on the field, and just got your mind right. And so I would still have that chant in my head, and just don't quit. For entrepreneurs, that's the biggest thing. If you keep going, you ultimately win in most cases. So we just kept going, and I didn't know anything else to do. So
Gotcha. I love it. And so, you know, what do you think? You know, oftentimes people think that today football is such a game you should avoid, no CTE. But to me, my son's playing football. I played football.
Yeah.
To me, it's one of the greatest ways to teach men about life.
Yeah.
To work with 11 diverse guys.
Sure.
Different positions, different ethnic backgrounds, different parts of the neighborhood.
Right.
The other side, the football teams, you got the defense, offense, special teams working together.
Right.
I know this is a side note, but what do you think the game of football teaches young men?
Oh, it teaches you so much. When you have to depend on each other, when you realize it's not all on you. You know, if they talk about, if you want to go far, go together. And so football teaches you to go together. You can't be a one-man show. In basketball, you can kind of be a one-man show.
Yeah.
Football, you really can't be a one-man show. So you're only as good as your team.
Yeah.
So it teaches you leadership, humility, setbacks, perseverance, resilience. Our pastor said on Sunday, nobody says when you ask them how they're doing, well, I'm being resilient. You don't see resilience until after the fact.
Yeah. So when you're thinking about getting involved in the financial services, getting involved in mortgages, I mean, you're in oil and gas.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was a cush job.
It
Why
was.
don't you stay with the cush job?
That was the problem. It was a cush job, and I had got greed, I think, and too much arrogance, thinking this is a cush job. I'm better than this. I remember saying terrible things like, "Is this all God has for me? $250,000 a year."
Yeah.
Luke 12:48, to whom much is given, much is expected. And I thought, I am expected to go create greatness. When I leave this earth, I want to leave a legacy.
There you go.
So I don't know that was what God wanted in my heart, but he used it for good.
But why mortgage? Why not start a franchise? Why not get involved in being a realtor? Why did you say, okay, loans, mortgages is kind of my thing?
Yeah, it was because of that family friend of ours, Clee Montgomery, played for the Oakland Raiders in the 80s, came to Dallas, met Ross Perot Sr.
Cool.
He taught him how to build and sell businesses. So Clee's wealth has been built through entrepreneurship, not through the NFL. And so Clee is still a phenomenal man in the Dallas community, wears a Super Bowl ring around his neck. And he said this was good. And so for me, that's a lot of my story. I'm a connector. Yeah. And I trust people. And when he said, this is what you should do, I thought, why would I question it? I believe in the bigger pile principle. He who has the bigger pile is the one that really you should be listening to in that area. Phenomenal.
I was introduced to you. Shout out to Andrea Lovett. Right?
There we go.
Andrea, she hosted a Keep the Keys event, and that's where I met you. And so, you know, oftentimes I see a lot of mortgage professionals, real estate professionals miss out on what we're about to talk about.
Sure.
They just see the transaction.
Yes.
But we're going to break down some reports that you use for my buddy's software company. Shout out to Dave Savage.
There we go, Dave. Yes.
I've known for close to 18 years now.
Yeah.
Because we're doing a lot of cash out refinances. Well, believe it or not, Wachovia, when they were still around, Wachovia was sponsoring a lot of my financial workshops.
Okay.
Because I was originating without even knowing. I was originating about 20 loans a month.
Wow.
In 06, 07, 08, during the height of the mortgage boom. But a lot of clients were cash out refinancing and put into either annuities or index universal life policies or whole life policies, universal life policies. And people didn't realize they can do that. So we're going to discuss that in these reports.
Sure.
I'm very, very pleased that you put these reports together and you know how to you actually know how to use it.
Sure.
When you're looking at the projects you did, managing $1 billion project, Exxon and Chevron, right?
Sure.
So what did you learn from executing those projects? What did you learn from those deals in terms of being in charge of that that responsibility?
Well, most people never work for a company like an ExxonMobil that cuts the bottom 10% every year. Every year. Of the workforce.
Wow.
Yeah. It's called EADS. They're terrified of them. Every year, it's the bottom 10 gets cut because they believe we need to constantly be iterating and improving, and we need everybody at the top of their game. So it is a cush job in a way, but in another way, you are competing like in football for your position every day. So still with my mortgage team, I say we're not a Fortune 500 company. We're a professional sports team. We're all trying out for our position every day. Yeah. So I learned how to manage multi-billion-dollar jobs and expect excellence out of everybody. that's why we came back and built a relational business, because I thought in Korea, when you're depending on the Korean workforce to build you what was a $40 billion job, it's the biggest in the world, it's all based on relationship. They say yes, they don't mean yes. They just are wanting you to go away. So you have to know how to work with different cultures to get to the same goal. We had a funny phrase in the end. We called it finish, because we wanted those Koreans to actually finish. So we said, finish.
Okay, but I can get it done.
Like literally,
done.
we mean finish this project.
Not done, have some drinks, and then come back and get it done. I know how Koreans are, but we love some Korean food.
Right.
It's something to be said, too, when you're going from corporate America, managing your projects. There's also sometimes the level of humility that a lot of guys don't want to have because of what they've experienced in the past.
Sure.
So what did you do to empty your cup? What was that area like? Okay, people telling you no now. Before you were like, in charge of multi-billion-dollar projects. Now people are saying, Monty, I'm just gonna keep shopping around. How did you deal with that rejection, or just having swinging and nothing's connecting?
That's a great question. I did have to learn the hard way, and I don't know that I emptied my cup. I think God emptied it for me. In November of 2019, I remember just sitting in tears in my car and saying to God out loud, I'm not against you.
Yeah.
I am for you. Yeah. Why are you humbling me to this level? I was scared how we were going to pay our bills.
Wow.
And then he sent this little thing called COVID in 2020 that made everything okay. It really did turn things around. But I have to give credit. The thing that changed my whole career was coaching. It was getting with people like JJ Mazzo, who's a good friend of Dave Savage. They are boys. They are tight. JJ coached me and taught me how to actually build a mortgage business.
Here in Dallas?
He's in Orange County, California.
Okay. Like a coaching program?
Yeah, it was a coaching program.
Love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were paying $2,500 a month to be coached by a guy that makes $1 million or more a year and has $1 million in the bank, who's still in the game, who's not just coaching you. And so JJ to this day is still coaching me constantly on how can we go. So that's how we built so much business. Yeah. While rates were going up, our production was going up at the same time.
Interesting. So what do you think your biggest misconception was? What did coaching finally unlock for you?
That I don't know the mortgage business. It is a blue collar, crazy
white collar
guerrilla
industry.
warfare. Yes, you would think the guys that look like me, talk like me are going to do the best. And so I had some of that mentality coming in. I'm going to do great. I've managed multi-billion-dollar jobs. Yeah. And I had to be humbled by guys that have, skulls tattooed on their throat that do 250. I'm talking about JJ. He would joke about that. He'll say, I don't look like the guy you think makes multiple $1 million a year as a loan officer. Yeah. So I had to learn, I don't know people. Yeah. And what mortgage is based on is relationships. It's based on helping realtors grow their business, which I was actually good at. I just didn't know that was the game. So once I was taught that game, I went to work on saying, I'm going to be like Zig Ziglar. I'm going to help enough other people get what they want, and I will ultimately get what I want.
I love it. When you're looking at your turning point, you're finding a new philosophy. How did you approach to money and service change after this experience? I mean, you were raised in money a certain way, because we're all raised with some form of money blueprint. Sure. Right now, you're seeing what's actually happening in the market. You saw the pandemic. You saw what's going on with folks, inflation, all this craziness. How has your perception of money, of leveraging debt to acquire assets, has that changed much over the last 4 or 5 years?
Oh, it's changed a lot. I was not raised with anything other than there's never enough money. Yeah. And when we get it, we spend it, and we rob Peter to pay Paul. And it's not anything that would resemble what we have now.
Anybody in your family in sales? Anybody in your family in entrepreneurship?
My dad should have been in sales. He was the president of a bank. And made like $30,000 in the 80s and 90s. Right. Okay. I can't believe it, because he could bring in so much to the bank. Sure. But it just wasn't commission sales. Yeah. It was a salary job, making $35,000, $40,000, whatever. And you're bringing the bank this business. So he should have been in sales, because we joked that he could write a letter telling you to go to hell in such a way that you would look forward to the trip. He is a great writer and a great salesperson, but he wasn't in sales. So I had to learn it, and I didn't think I was in sales. When I came back, I would say, I'm not a salesman. I'm not a salesman. Yeah. And then I realized I'm a born salesman because I'm a connector. And that's why I started saying, well, I'm like the intentional connector.
How do you define sales today? Because people often think, for example, people from the neighborhood or people think from the used car dealership, somebody loses in order for such salesperson to win.
No, not at all. Rory Vaden says, when you're competing, there's wins and losses. When you're serving, there's only wins.
Come on.
Yes.
Come on. I love it.
that's what we do. We sort, we don't sell.
Yeah.
Are you looking for me?
Yeah.
Can I help you with your goals? Do you want to build wealth in real estate? Are you a realtor that's at 10 million, you want to be at 30 million? Well, I can get you there. I can help you build your network.
Yeah, I'm seeing you've mentioned it already a couple of times, faith playing a big role in your life. And so how did faith shape the way you navigated your low points, and how do you shape it, how you work with people now?
I think it was something that I didn't talk about for most of my career, most of our marriage. We've been married 20 years this past May. So, which is really a testimony to
congrats,
God.
Man. Interesting, congrats. You
Yes,
made this far without.
Yeah, thankfully she stuck with me all these years. Marriage is not easy, but mainly because of me.
Yeah.
So faith became real in 2021. You see, in 2020, rates drop. I get into coaching. I start doing great. I'm doing more than I made more in 6 months than I'd ever made in a whole year. And it went to my head because I wasn't ready for it. I didn't have a real faith with God. And so I made some bad decisions that meant that we had to spend 4.5 months separated and figure out, do we even want to stay married?
Kids?
3 little kids. Had to sit them down and talk to them that, hey, I'm not going to live here right now. Mama and I are going to figure out if we're going to stay married. And so that's
was
just
it because
the truth.
you're working hard, or you're too long at the office and not enough family time, parent guilt?
It was, multi-featured. Ultimately, mortgage guys are tempted with money.
Yeah.
Sex, drugs, rock and roll, basically.
Sure. Same thing with insurance guys.
Alcohol is there. You've got all the things. And so all the temptations. And so I think I wasn't ready for the amount of money I was making, for the pressure that was on me to keep going. Mortgage was crazy in 2021. And so I was just trying to deal with it. Ultimately I had to come to a real faith with Jesus and say, do I actually believe or not?
Yeah. Ooh.
And am I ready to remake everything? So we started over. I did 41 million in loans in 2021 when rates were super low, but I didn't work for the whole second half of the year. My brother had to run the business for me. So in 2022, we renewed our vows in our backyard with our church home group.
Really?
And we recommitted. New covenant. Here we go. New marriage. And we have a better marriage now than we ever had before.
Because
it's amazing.
God's the bedrock.
Yes.
Your faith is the bedrock.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we don't have it all perfect now, but we are committed to the same things. And our kids know it. And so, ultimately, I'm not ashamed of it.
Yeah, sure.
I'm grateful for what God did through it. Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I got married and divorced to begin with. My first marriage was, done in a year. And I had to be a single dad for 12 years and learn the hard way. In Scripture, it says that, debt, the debtor is servant to the lender.
Yes.
Right. So, but you find yourself in a faith, you find yourself in a debt, you find yourself in a debt business.
Right.
But if you just listen to Dave Ramsey, he probably get you to thinking that every pit of debt is all horrible. It's all a sin.
Yeah.
But you and I have seen this both. This world isn't built by people saving up money and then buying things cash.
Sure.
They leverage mortgages, they leverage debt to acquire assets or acquire cash. So can you expand on that and why you can reconcile being a believer and how you can issue debt?
Yeah, there's good debt and there's bad debt.
There you go.
My 14-year-old came home from school one day and he said, "Hey, Papa, I learned today all about loans and debt." And I said, "What did you learn?" He said, "Well, debt is bad and income is good." And I was like, "Okay, well, that's not true." But I'm not surprised that the school is teaching you a very simple philosophy that debt is bad. Try to get out of debt as fast as possible. Pay off your house. Leave all the money locked up in there. I feel like a guy wrote a great book about that.
So keep something.
Keep
the keys or something like that.
Keys. Yeah, exactly. If you don't have the keys, you can't get in the house. So
that's right.
There's not a clear bad, good with debt. It's not all bad.
Yeah.
It can be good. It's what you do with it.
Yeah.
I remember in Korea, one of the executives came to me one time. She was moving back to the States and she said, "Is buying a house for $800,000 wrong?" She was a Christian. We all went to church there. And I said, "Well, why would it be wrong?" She said, "I don't know. I just thought we're not supposed to be rich as Christians."
Wow.
That is not biblical.
Wow. Yeah.
Our pastor, Matt Chandler, always says, "I want y'all to be the freaking CEO.
Yeah.
I'd rather you have the money because I know what you'll do with it.
Yeah.
I don't want to risk what they might do with it." So it's stewardship.
Yeah.
It's us using it right, having advisors, putting people around you that will protect you and advise you on what the right decisions would be financially.
I've often said that Jesus' first recruit was an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
He was a baller.
That's
He
true.
had a fishing company,
Yes.
right? So he recruited a guy with resources,
Yeah.
and he
And who
used
was
the
a
resources.
salesman.
Yeah, it was salesman.
Yeah, exactly.
And he had staff, he had personnel, he had infrastructure, and he used
Right.
that infrastructure to spread the gospel, spread
Right.
the ministry.
Right.
And that, you describe yourself as somebody whose mind works like the Matrix.
Yeah.
Connecting dots
Mm-hmm.
others don't see. So when you meet a homeowner
Yeah.
or investor, what are you seeing that person isn't?
So yeah, I have to slow down, and I'll say sometimes I play dumb, but I'm playing dumb because I want to walk somebody through this at a pace they can understand it. I've done it thousands of times, so to me, I know the answer.
Okay.
I took a test before I got into mortgage years ago with the executive recruiter in Austin, Texas, and she said, "Hey, I want to try this test on you. I'm an executive recruiter. You're
Okay.
moving in. You're about to be an entrepreneur." Took the test. Got the result, and she said, "This is weird. I've never seen somebody's result be like this." And I said, "What does it mean?" She said, "It's like you know what somebody needs before they know what they need."
Interesting.
And I thought, okay, it makes sense to me, because if you tell me what your goals are, let's keep the keys.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to Cleveland, Ohio. I'm going to do a book fair. I'm like, man, I got to get Andrew Matkovic there. Man, he's my boy. First loan officer ever at Cross Country Mortgage. Like,
I love it.
he's a baller. He's
Yeah.
crazy. You got to get the right people in the room. So I immediately attach to that person's dream and where they want to get to.
Bingo.
Because that is a successful funeral. To like go a little morbid here, it doesn't matter what you did. It matters who you impacted.
Yep.
My aunt's funeral had thousands of people there, and they said, stand up if she was like a mother to you. And so many people stood up. It didn't matter how much money she had. So if we want to live our legacy long before we leave it, then we got to begin to take people's dreams and say, I want to be part of getting you there, a small part.
Yep.
That's joy.
And I love the fact that you are using Mortgage Coach, because then you're showing people that there's just not a debt 101 class when it comes to acquiring the biggest mortgage or biggest debt you've acquired your entire life.
Right.
There's a additional conversation, like continuing conversation. Like I was sharing at the Keep the Keys tier, that there's often first-time home buyers seminars, but there's not very many current home buyers seminars.
No. Right.
So we're fixing and plugging that gap. So what led you, for example, to tools like Mortgage Coach? Was it your coach?
It was ultimately, people like JJ Mazzo that said, hey, I use Mortgage Coach with every single person.
Yeah.
And once you figure out the benefit it is to a homeowner, when they see it, instead of you just telling them, here's the rate, because a great loan officer is not an order taker.
Yeah.
He doesn't just say, here's the rate of the day. He should be a mortgage strategist.
Yeah.
He should be saying, I understand, Matt, that you think you want this. Can I show you a few other options that I think would be really cool that might get you to where your goal is?
Yep.
So that's what led me to Mortgage Coach. Is brilliant for that. It's been super helpful with buy downs. We've been able to get people rates in the twos in the last year, which they're like, wait, I thought rates were in the sevens. Like, they were, but with a great strategy, you can get a super low rate and you can show it in a Mortgage Coach.
Hey guys, if you want to find out how to do that, put down rate in the comment section below. Because at the same time too, as well, rate's not the only reason why you decide to purchase something. We got a report here, because sometimes people say, well, Powell just dropped it a couple weeks ago. Will they drop it again in 26? Will they drop it again? And people are waiting.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the wealth plan is on pause, and our greatest asset is time.
Yes.
And how do we get this asset? Because either way, time is going to pass by 3 months, 6 months from now. You're still paying a landlord, a rent, and you're building wealth for him versus, building wealth for yourself. So, before we get into the scenarios, I'm going to ask you this question. What's the biggest mistake you see smart, successful people making with real estate right now?
Waiting, I would say.
Okay.
You got to get in the game to win the game.
Yeah.
And it's more about time in the market than timing the market.
Yeah.
So I see so many people just waiting right now and saying, I'm gonna get it when the housing bubble crashes. Well, there is no housing bubble about to crash. So they're gonna be waiting forever. Or I'm gonna wait till rates drop. Well, when rates drop, the buyer's market becomes the seller's market. Now you're bidding, it's multiple offers. You don't get the great deal anymore. So there's not a euphoric market coming to where everybody can get what they want. So what equity does and what appreciation does. Appreciation outpaces interest rate every day of the week.
Yeah.
But there's no way to show that to a homeowner to show them if rates go down, but you missed out on the last year's worth of appreciation, you are behind, and you will forever be behind.
It's It's interesting that you say that because we've seen Frisco just in the last 2 years we've been here.
Yeah.
Just screaming.
Yeah.
I mean, to the point where I can't even move I might have a hard time to say can't because, God will provide. But we're having a very difficult time finding office space to move us from Carrollton to Plano, Frisco.
Mm.
And my commercial real estate guy was breaking it down. It's like, there's a lot of office space here for rent. A lot of it's vacant, but they're kind of waiting on hold because this is also the #1 corporate relocation capital in America.
Sure.
And they're willing to wait for another Toyota to come in here. They're willing to wait for another publicly traded company. So a small entrepreneur, guys like us trying to build a business, trying to rent some office space in a nice, Frisco, address.
Yeah.
We're getting put to the wayside because we're fighting against corporate America.
Right.
And so good for the guys that got involved in real estate.
Yes.
Good for the guys and good for us for us coming in here because we thought, oh, babe, are you sure you want to buy this house? So, true story. Simon, before we get into the mortgage code scenarios, we got approved for, I think, like a $3.6 million mortgage.
Mm.
I said, babe, we can go get a $3.6 million house. I said, do you want to do that though? She goes, I don't know. I said, what do you feel comfortable with? So we went through the different mortgage payment with property, for the whole PITI, right?
Yeah.
And my wife said, I'm comfortable with this budget.
Yeah.
So that's how we bought.
Okay.
We didn't maximize what we were qualified for.
Sure.
We maximized what we're comfortable because we just want to be able to write a check and then you didn't have to think about it.
Mm.
And so when we have the scenarios of these case studies, so let's dive into it. So the first case study, let's see, let me punch it up here. The first case study we have is the there you go here. The equity rich, cash strapped VFW homeowner. So let's if we can go here to this scenario. So all right, so let me just zoom up here. All right, so here's a equity rich, cash poor. That's the scenario, right?
Yeah.
So their property just screamed up in value because they only loaned $434 in 2021, right? Mm-hmm. So the rate though is 2.75. Like the conversation today is, why would you ever refinance out of a 2.75? Sure. You'll never see those rates ever again. Right. So help us with the thought process of why somebody consider a refinancing out of it, even though it means potentially increasing the rates to what it is currently today.
For sure. So in this scenario, you've got a payment that goes from $3,300 to $4,900. So initially, somebody's thinking that's bad because remember, debt's bad, income's good, all that. If conventional wisdom stood, then that would not be a good decision. But money follows value, and it depends on the value that you can bring to the money that's coming out of there. So in that situation, we're getting $120,000 out. So I would put the question back to you, you being a wise investor, you being somebody that didn't maximize up to the 3.6 million. Yeah. It matters what else you can do with that money, because that is not a good decision if you were going to take that 120,000 and bury it in the backyard.
That's right.
That's not good. But if that 120 can become a lot more, then anybody would do that.
So in this scenario, just to we double check, the current pay right now is $33.59, but they're bumped up to another $1,600 a month. Correct. So that's what they have to stomach.
Correct.
They got to be able to stomach the $1,600 extra a month. But the big thing is, if they do nothing, they're saving $1,622.
Correct.
But if they cash out, now they can put this $120,000 to work.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So that
equity is doing nothing for them currently. It's locked in their house.
Right.
So it's not growing. I have a good friend that says you'll work till you die until you find a way to make money while you sleep. Yeah. And so you're the magician, I feel like, at that. You help people make money while they sleep. Right. So that 120 can turn into something.
Sure. Meanwhile, they still got equity inside their house. So if you were to walk us through the rest of the report here, so at the bottom here, the first 5 years, so the additional loan costs here all the way to the right. So by paying...
Yeah, so that's the interest you're paying. Now that's tax deductible interest. Okay. So that's the nice thing. If you're a high earning W-2 or if you're an entrepreneur, doesn't matter, that's going to benefit you on your taxes. Okay. So it looks scary at first. But again, this is the stepping from the status quo to being the rich. Exactly. Yeah, you're going from kindergarten to college at this point. Yep. You're getting in the big leagues. Right. Ryan Leak. Do you know who Ryan Leak is?
Yeah, Florida. quarterback. What, Ryan Leak, wasn't he
But, no, he's here. He's an entrepreneur. He's phenomenal.
Okay.
Wrote great
Gotcha.
books. I'm
thinking Ryan Leaf. That's what I'm thinking.
Yes, Ryan Leak.
Yeah. Okay.
Ryan Leak. Yes. Yeah. He is a brilliant entrepreneur, and he is so wise when he talks about what's it like to be on the other side of me, because we don't experience that very often.
Yeah.
He also wrote a book, and he realized how expensive it can be to write a book. You've written a book.
Mm-hmm.
And so when he got the cover design from this really famous designer, he thought they made a mistake with the cost that they quoted him.
Yeah.
And they said, it's called the big leagues.
Mm-hmm.
So we're stepping into the big leagues with an opportunity like this. It's a little uncomfortable. It's kind of like an ice bath. Stepping in, it's going to hurt. It's going to feel a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But you're never going to grow.
Yeah.
Ryan talked about this morning. I listened to him on a short little podcast thing where he was saying, if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling pressed, if you're in places right now where you're being stretched, think about the old you. The old you would have killed for what you are getting to do today.
Sure.
Which tells you that the future you is going to be grateful for all the things you're going through right now. God has a purpose for what he's putting you through. And financial wisdom comes from putting people around you that will stretch you and show you concepts like we're showing today. So if somebody's listening, they're like,
amen,
I would be crazy to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, look at the other end of it.
Yep.
Be open-minded.
Because here's the thing too. Regardless if there's a mortgage on a property or not, it's still an $850,000 house.
100%. Yep.
So it's not like you've reduced the value of your property.
Not at all.
The
It's going
value's
to
still the
keep
same.
appreciating, actually.
Still going to keep appreciating. And then here as well, is we're at a 6.35% interest versus, so it's up 4 points. But the biggest,
For now, you can refinance in the future.
Yeah, that's right. And,
not forever.
potentially cash out more equity,
You could.
adding to the $120,000 there.
By all means, yeah.
Because right now, this $120,000 is, to your point, it's earning zero right now sitting inside the house.
Maybe it's earning 5%. If you said, well, it's appreciating, maybe, but it's really not.
It's not being put in your bank account.
Correct. It's not earning that. The house is appreciating, but that 120 is not making you money.
So your assets is a combination of 850. That's number one. Now you got number two, which is the 120.
Right.
Because you've separated the cash from the property. That's real cash, real asset.
Yes.
And even if you put in a bank account, it's $120,000 that was already there. You just cash it out, and the cost for you cashing out is $1,622 a month.
Right.
So now let's be devil's advocate.
Okay.
Why would you not want to do that?
I would say you don't want to do that if it's going to stress your marriage.
Okay.
If it's going to stress you financially to the point that you can't handle that payment, even though it looks like that payment is workable and arguably they qualify, their debt to income ratio is okay. Only you know that. You know if that's going to break you and if you're not going to feel comfortable. Because ultimately what you do, you should understand it and you should trust the person that's leading you down that path.
So if they come across a guy like you, right? I say, you know what, I want to do this.
Yeah.
But you find out they have a higher debt to income ratio, they have other debt.
Sure.
And they can only cash out maybe 60.
Sure.
Is it still worth it?
Well, first thing I would say is why don't we pay off some of this high interest debt?
Okay. Especially the bad debt you were talking about earlier.
Yeah. If you've got credit card debt, if you've got a car loan, there's no doubt that this is going to be cheaper than that. Plus, it's tax deductible interest, whereas none of that is tax deductible interest. Plus, there are other ways that we didn't even show there to where you don't necessarily have to do a cash out and wipe out that mortgage. We can do a home equity line of credit.
Are those still available today?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
We can do a closed-end second loan. So this is the most conservative. If you did go that far, it would still be worth it. But I'm never going to just give you that.
If they did a HELOC, if they did a home equity line of credit instead,
Sure.
What would that additional mortgage payment be on top of the $3,359? If you were to ballpark it.
Oh, it's a good question. So if they want $120,000 out,
because this is assuming you're refinancing the whole thing from the.
They're probably going to pay interest-only payments.
Cool. Okay.
Right, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
We really like those. Those are really good. We have a way to do those and pay interest only for 10 years. So while you're making the money, we were talking about this with my wife last night, you end up paying it off long before that. Plus, you can draw it down and put it back as often as you want to. No limitation on that. So your payment on that's probably going to be $500 a month, interest only.
Versus 16.
Right.
All day.
Right.
All day.
Plus, you keep your 2.75 rate. You have a blended rate now. When you think about, well, if I have an 2.5% rate on my HELOC and I have a
Yeah.
2.75, you got to put those together and say, what's my blended rate?
Yeah.
Probably something in the 4s.
And the reality too, as well, is somebody really going to stay in this house for another 10
No,
years?
for sure not.
I don't think a lot of people do
No.
stay in their house for 8 years, 5 years, 8
Right.
years, you know? And so that's another scenario there for folks in this scenario. But the biggest thing here, they got liquidity. Because here's the thing too, what happens worst case scenario, you're doing this, an emergency situation comes up. What do you want, $120,000 of equity or $120,000 of
Right.
cash?
Well, you lose your job, it's over. I won't give you money anymore. That's the bad
Listen
news.
to what he just said.
Yeah.
I
wish I could.
It's right.
And the crazy thing is
Yeah.
I do have a way to do it, but that's just because we're exceptional and
Yeah,
we have
yeah.
a whole portfolio of
Yeah.
non-QM loans that can do unique things, but still.
I think this is going to apply on our fourth case study because people say, you know, let me do something similar to this by adding additional payments to the mortgage payment. We'll go over the scenario, but this is just people who are just experiencing
Sure.
high appreciation right now in the Dallas-Fort Worth
Sure.
area. And the biggest thing is to make sure you reach out and find out what is the best scenario for you. It could be a
Right.
first strategic cash refinance, restarting the clock again from year one,
Sure.
or a blended rated interest only. I love
Correct.
that. I love that scenario
Yeah.
of the blended rate.
Mm-hmm.
I would also caution from a financial guy, from an insurance strategist guy, if you are using this cash from the property to pay off bad debt
Sure.
or car loan debt, etc.,
Sure.
stop adding to the problem by getting another car.
That's true.
Stop
Yeah,
adding to the
right.
problem by getting more credit card debt, and then starting that cycle all over again. And I think that's where people are at today. Because today, this generation, compared to maybe the generation we went to college in, the generation
Right.
went to high school, and there's so much stuff to buy today,
Yeah.
and so easy to buy on their phone.
Right.
The speed at which people can acquire just stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you know, as compared to where it was maybe 30, 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Do you see a lot of people just high on consumerism?
We have the highest credit card debt as a nation
Yeah.
than we've ever had.
Trillion
so we
dollars.
are in a
Yeah.
bad place
Yeah.
financially. And people are ashamed. That's what breaks my heart is they're embarrassed. We had a man refinance this month and he just thanked us over and over. He said, I've carried so much shame as a husband, a father.
Yeah.
You have helped me so much to pay off all this debt. I just wish all those thousands of other men and women that are ashamed and digging the hole deeper.
Yeah.
You just want to take the shovel and be like, stop digging. It's okay. You're not the first person to ever get in debt.
Yeah.
We'll get you out.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. I like that. Stop digging.
Yeah.
And in a way, emotionally empty your cup and say, listen, let me just ask for some help.
Yeah.
Let's go another scenario here. Let's talk about people who also took advantage of the market and they're investing in real estate.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
So this case study here, if we look up here, is a real estate investor, weak cash flow,
Yeah.
but they got a lot of assets.
Right.
And can you kind of set up this case study because you blended the rate, didn't you?
So I had to do a weighted average here. In this scenario, we've got 4 investment properties, each worth $400,000. So you can see the 1.6 million. That's just the average.
For props.
4 properties, right there.
That is the 1.6.
Correct.
Okay.
And you got them during COVID, and you did a big favor. You must have referred your mortgage guy a lot of business because he gave you a 3.25 on that investment property. That's good. So you are in a fantastic place right now.
Okay.
Payment total is a little under $9,000 for all 4 properties. Now, what we know, because we ran the scenario, was there's $10,400 in cash flow coming to you in rent.
Got it.
There's no way to really show that on here. So you're bringing in an extra $1,400 a month, $1,500 in rent payments every month.
Okay, so 1,400, 1,400.
Yeah, we said 10,400. Just you could say 10,500.
10,400.
Whatever the case is. Yeah. So that was the assumption.
Rental income.
Yep, rental income.
Okay.
And that covered all your expenses there. So we have the total payment of what's going out. Now, in this situation, this person is considering, what if I went and did a DSCR refinance on 2 of the properties? They've got the most equity in them, let's say. And so I'm going to pull $90,000 out of each property because I want $180,000 to go do something with, whether that's buy another property or
Got it.
life insurance, or there's another investment, whatever they're wanting to do. They know that opportunity takes money and they realized I've got equity in these properties. I should do that. Now to do that, you have a blended rate. I did a 7.25. That's what I assumed on those 2 new properties.
Okay.
On a DSCR, sorry, 7.5. Yep, 7.5.
Well,
The blended rate now between those 4 properties is 5.89.
Ah,
So if you wanted to say, well, what do I have my portfolio financed at? It's still worth the 1,600.
yep.
It's financed at about 5.9 interest rate.
Yep.
And again, that interest, you can write that off. So that's nice.
Right.
Total payment now is $11,000.
Got it.
You could say, oh man, I'm losing $600 a month.
As compared to what you're bringing in rental
Correct.
income. Yep.
Okay. So maybe you're losing $600 a month, but maybe that 180,000 is doing something for you that you wouldn't have had, all based on what you do with that money.
Yep.
If you buy a whole nother property and it's bringing in cash flow, then
Yep.
you're building appreciation on
I love
5
it.
properties now. So,
Bottom
yeah.
line, you got this $180,000 working for you versus being trapped inside the property. Same scenario as the first scenario, house versus cash for a single family homeowner
Correct.
versus somebody here who's a real estate investor. Same principle, just expands it for different properties.
Correct.
So if people, so how wise and advisable is it for people that do have multiple real estate to always manage? It's one thing to manage the property, but how about to manage the debt?
Manage the debt, meaning
The mortgages.
choosing what
Yeah.
to do. Yeah. If you're not managing it, nobody else is. So yeah, nobody's doing it for you probably, unless you've gotten so many, you've hired a family office that, that is managing it. So yeah, I would say to look at that, know what the opportunities are, have wise counsel. Like I said, in my story, coaching made a huge difference. Having somebody like you on their side to say, what could you do with it? It doesn't mean they have to do it, but wouldn't it be nice to know what are all the options on the menu?
Yeah.
Instead of saying, do you have a hamburger? And you're like, yes, I do. Okay, great. Well, how do we know you don't have a filet mignon that you could also serve? So we have to ask and learn what's out there.
It's funny that you say that because there's a guy I ran into in my Keep the Keys book tour. He's in he's one of these cities. I won't mention because I don't want to make it too obvious. But he has 180,000 a month in rental income.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of doors.
Yeah.
I think it's like 85 doors. And he's paying out 120 in debt service and maintenance.
Right.
So he's bringing home 50, 60,000.
Sure.
And asking one question, how liquid are you? Because I'm not very liquid at all.
Right.
Everything's caught up in the property. And I was like, how long have you been doing it? I've been doing it for 26 years.
Sure.
So as much as people think that they're house rich cash poor with their own individual residence,
Sure.
people feel that same way times this guy times 81 doors.
Sure.
And all that equity. And here's the worst part, what he didn't have. Guess what he didn't have? Life insurance.
Oh, wow.
26 years I've been doing this.
Wow.
No life insurance.
Okay.
He never thought to get a policy.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, something happens to him, heart attack, stroke, cancer. That's chapter 1 of my book.
Yeah.
The wife's got to handle the property.
Yeah.
And the wife didn't know what to do with the property. She's like, and the kids are young, so it's not like they would know what to do at 14 and 12 years old and how to handle the property. So in that scenario, what you've seen in the past, if people had pressure and like, oh, forget it, I'm pulling my hair out, my properties are stress me out, and they want to divest. What's some of the worst case scenarios you've seen people unwind their property and just completely get out of it, and what happened to that? Do you have any
Worst case, when they started unwinding it
Yeah.
and trying to sell them? I don't know that we've had anybody that had hundreds of properties needing to. It's usually 5, 6 properties. They're trying to get to retirement. And they're like, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. It was a game I played for a long time.
Yeah.
Not using a phenomenal realtor, I would say, is the difference. So I always tell people, please reach out to me. I don't care what city it is in the nation. I can look up all their production. I know who the best are. I've networked with them. I make it my business to know who these people are. And there's a huge difference. All realtors aren't created equal.
Yeah.
Same as all loan officers aren't created equal. Life insurance agents aren't created equal. I'm going to talk myself out of a little bit of business here and say that although I can close an investment loan in, let's say, 2 weeks, if somebody has a life insurance policy and they have cash value in that, they can pull that out in like 2 days.
Yeah.
So if you want to jump on an opportunity, there's different ways to do it. But I hate for that guy that he didn't have anything there, because what are the opportunities? He could have picked up a house for a lot cheaper.
Exactly.
Yeah. The true deals are there, and you need to have bullets in your gun, to use a Texas analogy there, to actually go.
Naturally, you would.
Yes. To go take down that trophy buck.
I mean, literally, we just had one of our clients. He's a pro athlete, and literally, he's Matt. I want to take advantage of this deal. Let me get money out of my policy. Within, we sent him a link. He followed the link. The next day, it was a bank wire transfer to his bank account, so he can take advantage of the deal.
Right.
To your point. The scenario we saw when someone just pulling their hair out, they just forget this. I'm done with real estate.
Yeah.
What they had to do, they're just basically fire selling the property. They fire sold it at a discount.
Yeah.
So they lost equity.
That's
So
a
they
shame.
ate in the shorts because they were just fed up with it. They didn't want to deal with it anymore. And that's how they felt about it. And so, and when people hear stories like that, and people stood on the fence, they say, you know what? I just want to stay as a renter. I just want to rent.
Right.
Easier. And that's, by the way, that's a sad narrative I'm hearing today.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to rent, it's cheaper to rent versus buy property. And can you, before we go to the next case study, can you shine a little light on your perspective on that? Because if we are pushed into a nation of renters versus more of a nation of owners, I don't think that's heading in the right direction.
No, it's a shame. The average first-time homebuyer is now 38 years old.
Yeah.
So
versus before it was 28.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not only are they not buying, they're living at home. Boys are not becoming men. They're just becoming boys that can shave. And they're not growing up. They're playing video games and like stuck in, you need to raise men. We as fathers have to raise our boys to become true men that step up and are warriors that will go out there and make it happen. You have to teach them things about how money works. That's our job, to teach them that.
Life, man.
Right. And if there's not a dad in the picture, then we got to step up. That's part of the reason we need financial freedom so that we can go be the hands and feet to teach other people. That's one of the things I love about you is you're teaching. You don't have to do this. You don't need the money, but you're doing it to change the next generation and to help people. You're paying it forward. So I love that mentality, pay it forward.
My man.
So, I think people are scared and they don't know what it takes to buy a house. It sounds big and scary. They moved out of their parents' house and they probably want to live in a house the size of their parents, which, man, I feel bad for your kids. If their first house needs to be as big as your house.
Yeah.
But that's the American mentality. We've been told we need these things to be worth it. I need a huge house. Your first house doesn't have to be that. You really should just get in the game. Just get in the game.
Take
and
advantage of capitalism.
Right. You can put 3% down. You can do something small. Just get in and build the equity. A homeowner has a 40 times greater net worth than a renter.
That's it.
40 times. So the sooner you get into that game and just buy your first house, you're way better off, no matter what you put in it.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but outside the VA loan, what's the only other no money down mortgage program in America today?
USDA.
But that's a certain amount of, is there a cap to that or a
there
certain
is.
income
limit on that. And VA, you have to be a veteran. So not everybody can go get those things. We do loans in all 50 states. So I don't care. I get to see people buying houses in all these different states. And so there is down payment assistance. I don't love it because I don't think it's best for most people. You don't want to see somebody making $120,000 a year and wanting down payment assistance because then they're going to be stuck with the 7.5% rate. It's a 3-year forgivable lien. They can't refinance it. They can't do anything with it. So it sounds attractive. Use somebody else's money, but it's not necessarily the best thing. But it is there. If that truly is your only option, if you're making $50,000, $60,000 and you just want to buy your first house and you're like, I just need help, great. State of Texas, other states have opportunities to do it.
So beginning that 4th year, they can refinance out of that.
They can. They totally can. They can do it before that. They're just going to have to pay back that amount. So I would say the first time home buyer stuff, 3% for conventional. That's the most common, best one for that young college graduate that says.
So it's like FHA type stuff?
That's conventional. FHA is 3.5% down. Everybody thinks that's a first time home buyer loan. It's not. You can use an FHA loan on your second house, third house, if that's what you need. It just has mortgage insurance on it forever. So at some point, you're going to need to move to that conventional loan to save yourself money.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, for those of you listening up here, veterans, listen, you better pay attention to this. Outside of the USD loan, what's the income limit there that you can't make north of, as well as the property value you can't purchase north of?
Or USDA?
Yeah.
So it changes by the number of people in the house. So I would say people need to reach out and talk to me because it's not just the adults in the house, it's the kids in the house. It's household size, household income. So it really is a table. It varies all across there. But I'd say somewhere around 150,000, let's say. So
very low. Yeah.
So it's pretty low. It's hard. Plus, same as with FHA loans, at some point it's not going to make sense because you're buying a nice enough house that's not what the FHA loan was meant for. $560,000. They're changing them right now, but that's not going to make sense.
That's considered jumbo still. Anything above that's
just
jumbo?
Considered. FHA isn't going to do a loan above that amount. Now it changes in every single state. So like I said, we're 50 states. So it does customized. So if somebody reaches out and says, what about in my state? Then we can tell them, okay, in your state, and it depends on the doors.
Okay.
Speaking to veterans, one of the biggest unknown secrets out there for veterans is you can buy a multifamily with 0% down.
There you go.
You can buy a quadplex,
Yes.
rent out 3 sides for 0% down.
Yeah.
It's crazy. There's no loan limit either.
Hey, pays
So-
to serve. Darren, were we just talking about that yesterday? Hey, he's an Army veteran, so we just talked
Yeah.
about that yesterday. You just got to get your credit up and obviously qualify.
You don't even have to credit that high. I mean, the
Okay,
VA
cool.
loves their veterans. They
love it.
love their veterans.
What's the credit score?
We have no minimum for
I
VA.
love it.
Yeah, it doesn't
Okay.
mean everybody's approved. Same thing with conventional. They took it away for Fannie, so we don't have a minimum. Our portfolio products are probably best, though, for all the unique entrepreneurs. I feel like you probably have a lot of entrepreneurs that listen to you that need bank statement loans, that want a loan based on their gross income, not their net income,
Yeah.
or they want DSCR
Versus what they're
loans.
reporting versus what they're making.
Right, exactly. If you have a story mortgage, is what we call it, when there's a story behind it and you're like, this should make sense.
Okay.
I can't believe you can't get a loan. That's what we do.
I love it.
Those that just make sense.
And back to the multifamily.
Yes.
You know, I think a lot of veterans think they need, okay, if your mortgage is, say, for example, $3,000 a month, but you can also count in the rental income that's coming in from the property towards income in addition to the veteran's income.
Yeah, I built a great flyer to show veterans that you could buy a quadplex and have the 3 units pay for your mortgage too. So you could live there for free while that $1 million duplex is appreciating in value.
Yeah.
But nobody's doing it. Veterans are rule followers too. So they're like, it's too good to be true. I don't deserve that. I just served our country. Like, you do. If anybody deserves
Right,
it,
you do.
it's our veterans.
Come on, let's go.
make them wealthy.
Yes.
They make great generations of Americans.
We sure do, man.
Exactly.
We populate the world. That's for sure. That's awesome. Before we, Marty, where do we get more information? Because I know a lot of guys, we probably generate a lot of interest. Where can people find information and connect with you?
We're everywhere. You should be able to Google my name. It's unique enough.
We'll put it right here.
Yeah.
Put it in the
Monty
comments.
Felts, MontyFelts. Yeah, we're on Instagram, Facebook. We got the website we go in. We're on Google. I mean, anywhere you want to find us, it's there.
Okay.
My
Very
cell
cool.
phone is very public.
you go.
And that is my cell phone. So you can text me, call me, whatever.
There you go. All right, so let's go into the scenario.
Yes.
Speaking of somebody saying, you know what, let me wait for the perfect rate.
Oh, man.
Let me wait for the perfect rate. You know, I think it's going to drop next year. Da, 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 da. Okay, so here's the scenario. The first category is they wait.
Yes.
Okay, they wait. $500,000 house,
That's their current house right now that they're sitting in. Mhm.
right? $300,000 loan. Well, take us to the scenario.
Yeah. So this house, you bought it probably during COVID. You have a 3% rate. Your payment's $2,564 a month. So everything is good. You put $250,000 down, let's say, at that point. So that's why it says cash to close. We're simulating that purchase back then. What you're considering is you've had kids now, they're getting bigger. You're needing to go to a bigger house, but you're trapped because you're thinking, well, let's just wait till the rates go back down
To the
again to the
3%.
threes. Yeah.
Yeah, you're stuck there.
They're not going back to the threes. so you're going to be waiting a long, long time, and life is short. It's really not worth it to continue to wait for that purpose when there's other financial benefits from doing it. If you went ahead and bought now, you could sell your house. You get that $250,000 in equity. All I did was put it down. I said, all right, I'm going to put that down plus closing costs, assuming the seller doesn't pay for anything. You're probably coming to the table with $266.
Okay, that includes the $250.
It does.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
If you didn't want that, if you said, well, all we have is $250, period, then great, we'll make that $250. If you said, well, I got cost to sell, closing costs, I get it. I know all of that. I tried to make it as simple as possible. We can make that number whatever you want it to be. So if you'll tell me what you want, we'll make that happen. So in that scenario, we're assuming you've got some savings. You can put $266 down at closing for your $250,000 down payment. 6.75 rate was as of today. I quoted that with somebody putting $250,000 down. Your payment with taxes, insurance, everything included is $4,800. So you're $2,200 more a month. That's true, but you live in the house that you want to live in. And the last column then is you can refinance this. Rates will go back down. They will go down. You can get back down to something like a 4.99. And when that happens, you'll be at a $4,350 a month payment. So that'll save you $500 off of that $2,200. So you're $1,700 more a month, but you live now in a house that should be worth $800,000. A few years after you buy it, if it appreciates at 7.5% interest over 2 years, even, which is low in most areas, what we're seeing,
Yep.
then you've got more equity in that house, and you're in a great position for your family to be able to afford the house you really want to live in.
That's the difference between a 512 and an 800,000.
Correct. You have 300,000 in equity there. You had 250 over here, so you've gotten right back to where you were and beyond.
I love it.
Yeah,
that's how people can step up and build their wealth. And instead of going from a $500,000 house and staying there now, you have potential appreciation coming from 800,000 versus 550.
Sure.
I love it. Cool. All right. So the last scenario is a little bit more of a complex one.
Right.
Okay. It's a little bit more of a complex one because, people often say, I'm really listening to a lot of powers that be. And if I have a mortgage, I got to accelerate the payment of my house. Traditional webs, I can't tell you how many videos we've seen online, just cruising through videos. And they say the same thing.
Right.
Send extra payments,
right.
Pay bi-weekly, extra payment per year.
Sure.
But in my book, Keep the Keys, we talk about economists from the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago. I said, listen, people are making a $1.5 billion a year mistake collectively by sending unnecessary payments to the mortgage company instead of their own tax-deferred savings account that they can have on the side, a side account.
Yeah.
So you ran the report.
Yeah.
You ran the reports inside Mortgage Coach.
Correct.
I love it.
Yes.
So let's go back to this scenario. Okay, so here, back to the $750,000 home. Okay, they have a $500,000 mortgage, and they're paying $39.82. That's that scenario. So explain the second column in terms of prepaid mortgage.
The second column assumes you've got an extra $750 a month in cash flow that you say, I could put that into my mortgage.
Sure,
I could pay that extra $750 and honey, we would pay this house off faster. It would be a wonderful thing. We'd finally be financially free if we just put that extra money into the mortgage payment.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so people say, okay, great. Now I'm really starting to cut into the interest of my loan. Instead of paying in 30 years or 29-20, I'm really accelerating it here. And so, in other words, they pay off the house 17 years. They pay off the house in that process.
Correct.
So good job. You took the extra $750 a month, added it to the 39, right? Added to the $3,900, and you were able to be debt free in 17.17 years.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the alternative? Alternative is to consider doing what?
Take that same $750 and put it somewhere it would make you a lot more money, that it would actually work for you instead of giving it to the bank. This is an invitation to become the bank instead of make the bank richer.
Yes.
So I feel like you could have named your book "Become the Bank." And I know you believe in that concept of infinite banking, and that we are going to either help others get rich, or we're going to learn those same tactics and we're going to use them ourselves. So in this case, we're going to become the bank. We're going to become a small bank, and we're going to create a side account strategy where we take that $750 and we put it into an account that's going to earn interest. Now, as you notice at the bottom, it's still going to pay that house off in 25 years. You've still got only 5 more years. We didn't extend out the mortgage or anything. We just took that extra cash flow and we invested it.
The biggest thing, they're liquid. So here, this strategy, prepay the mortgage, right? Even though you may have paid off in 17.17 years, you're illiquid.
Right.
You have to either refinance or sell the house.
Yeah.
To get your cash out of it. If you guys can't read that, I don't know why you don't read English.
Yeah.
Read my writing. Versus this scenario, if they did a side account and this money here, they have just as much. What is this? Is this the debt, or is it the side account that's here?
That's the side account. Yeah. Okay. This one's the side account. The house is going to pay off in the same period of time because you didn't pay any extra.
Okay.
In the side account strategy, you took that money and you put it into something else. Yeah.
Same as that. Got it.
The good side of the side account strategy is, let's say, good things happen in your life and you get to a point where you have opportunities and you want to use those opportunities.
Yeah, that's right.
The bad side would be, what if you lost your job or something terrible happened? You still have money in that. You're liquid. You have something to protect you. So you have both the upside and the downside on the far side.
Yep.
The middle one, if you take the good side and you're prepaying your mortgage and opportunity comes, well, you don't really have any way to take advantage of that opportunity. If the bad thing comes and something terrible happens, you lose your job, you can't do anything other than sell your house and
Yeah.
go rent and pay somebody else's mortgage.
So you create a secondary report here at the bottom, right? So
Yes.
so if you reinvest, so here's that thought process. Here currently you're building no
Correct.
liquidity,
Correct.
all right? So this is even though you have that, this is the mortgage that you're paying on it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Mortgage balance 15 years now, but you got nothing also saved.
Yeah, you're not putting anything away.
No,
You're spending it.
Yeah, you're spending it and,
Yep.
and throwing it in there. Versus here,
Mm-hmm.
that same $750 a month.
Yeah.
The house is still going to grow. The house is still going to grow and appreciate.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing now is you've got where's that?
The bottom, you got nothing else you're investing in still.
Yeah. Because you're prepaying it,
Yeah.
right?
All the money's going straight there.
Right.
To the mortgage.
So nothing.
Right.
Nothing. No
Yeah.
cash. No liquid side account.
Correct.
You still have to refinance your house or sell your house in order to get
Yeah.
the equity.
If you can,
Yeah.
as long as you have your job
That's right.
and your debt to income's okay.
But this one here, the third scenario, the side account.
Mhm.
Let me circle this in green because that's liquid.
Right.
Okay, you got that money growing now, and you used what, a 10% return.
I did. Yeah.
So-
yeah, we used a 10% return. It was worth $310,000 at the 15-year mark. So if we just took that same 15-year analysis that the mortgage would be paid off, just about
Okay.
paid off in the prepay of the mortgage.
Yeah.
And so you'd have a house free and clear, or you'd have $310,000.
So the $750 basically earning at 10%.
Yeah.
In 30 years, you said.
Mm-hmm. No, 15. In 15 years.
15 years would be
$310,000.
310,000 K.
Mhm.
But that's the money you control.
Correct.
I
If you're
love
like
it.
a lot of us and you finally break free of corporate America and you want to go build your own empire,
Yeah.
you have the ability to do it.
So you're ahead 2 years then. So if you buy, it's
sure.
in 15 years because the 17-year mark here, you still got that debt here, but here in 15 years you
Right.
got 310,000 of cash.
Correct.
So technically you got more cash than you do debt.
Yeah.
I love that. That's exactly the key
Yeah.
scenarios. So what's the report here? It said
It's the game the rich play.
that's right.
That's the big difference.
It's
If you're
well
like, I've
built.
never heard anybody talk about this. Why? How many of the people you hang out with have much money? That may be why they don't talk about
And
it.
you're listening to traditional advice, which is fine. I
Yeah.
mean, it's there not to hurt people, because the sad part is a lot of people, if they're not smart, they're not disciplined, they're listening to the wrong crowd, and they're still stuck on consumerism. They haven't
Right.
changed their mindset about money.
Right.
It's probably better for them to be conservative,
Probably.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Versus somebody who's smart, who's money smart, and willing to
Right.
put their money to work. What's the second report here? It says interest in 15 years. Going back to this one.
So this is one I made to show if somebody really was picking up on this and they were like, man, I love what you got. Do you have an advanced
Yeah.
version of this?
Okay.
Because I'm dynamic. I believe in investing. And the problem is I want to invest in multiple places.
Sure.
I want to put money here. I want to put money there. I want to take advantage of opportunities. Then this one would show what you could do if you did a cash out refinance right now
Mhm.
and you pulled money out and you rolled everything into the loan. So scroll down there, that 307 is rolling everything into the loan.
Okay.
We can scroll up and look at the other chart in a minute. The second one is option 2. If you said, well, I want to reinvest all of the savings, because notice you're not paying any more interest in this
Yep.
one. 576 is what you're currently on track to pay. And in this one, you'll pay a ton less interest because of how we set up. You just roll everything in and pay it off faster. All your savings are being put right back into the mortgage. So
Okay.
you're putting, I think it was $2,200 a month back
Yeah.
to that mortgage. So it's kind of like we just said prepaying.
Okay.
The third scenario, which is called option 2, that's putting that money into an account, into savings. So you don't see the true value there of what it would be. We'd have to go over and look at that. And then the option 3 is what if you did it in multiple places and we assume different rates of return on different options. If you said, I want to be diversified. I'm not a eggs in one basket kind of guy. And then the last one is if you said, our family is stressed out right now. We got kids, they're little. Life is just expensive. We need to free up cash flow. In this scenario, the person was paying $9,000, a little more than that. I think it was $9,700 in total total debt payments.
Right.
Their car, their credit card, their HELOC that they went and got on the house, plus their mortgage. So all of it together was like $9,700. This would be taking cash out and paying off that debt. It's debt consolidation down for that person that's built up a lot of debt and needs a second chance.
Yeah.
That last column then is giving you back $2,200 a month in just breathing room. which might be fine for now. That
Yeah.
may be what you want to do for the next year until you figure out what strategy do you want to go with.
Yeah, it's very robust. I mean, when we're going over this report here, this is how in depth the mortgage coach software goes through.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're somebody that owns owns property, you owe it to yourself to have an analysis like this. Because where were you showing the payment stream? Was it the principal reduction right
So
here?
the debt, yeah. Well, that's how fast you pay off the loan if you go with the option number one. If you put all that extra money, $22.56, towards the mortgage, it's going to pay it off in 209 months instead of 360 months. So you're not going to have a 30-year loan anymore. And that's truly what the rate was today. Debt consolidation, that right there. What you currently have is you have 29 more years until you hit debt freedom, they say. In this situation, what we did, we put money back into it. It's 17 years and 4 months. If you reinvested it back into there, you can scroll down and see by consolidating the debt, scroll up just a little bit, it says $144,000 of savings right there
in the green. Yep.
So that's what you saved yourself in interest payments. That's your monthly payment. The $9,000 and $6,700 would be your new payment if we paid off all that debt down below. So your short-term scenario, your long-term scenario are best seen, not on this one, but on the next one. Because with this one, you're just paying your mortgage off. It's not going to really help you. Click back over to the whole report. Yeah. Let's go down to that third column or fourth column and click debt consolidation. Yeah. That one's perfect.
Option 4.
So this option 4, right? You can see the savings are still there. Click on that short-term scenario, 60 months. So in 5 years, if we go down to the bottom, keep
Tesla.
going, we're paying off, right? We're paying off your Tesla, paying off your credit card, your Visa. Keep going down. Yeah, we paid off your HELOC. You can see you saved about $20,000 in interest by doing that. The part that's really dramatic is the long-term scenario. If you go up a little bit and click on long-term scenario, 15 years, right there, 180 months. Scroll down, your net worth. That's not the right option. This must be the option where you just save yourself cash flow. Should be 2.5 million. If we click on, that one right there, 2.6 million. Okay. Yeah. So 2.6 million in 15 years. So you've made yourself an extra $600,000 by investing it in things that actually make you money. It's a huge difference 15 years from now.
This is why, if you are in the leverage game, and if you're buying property, you're already in the leverage game. You just got to make sure you know how to leverage the game the right way.
Right.
And so, one thing I love about this is that the options that get blown in people's way, because you got a lot of things going for you. You got your job, you got the property appreciation, you got potential interest that you're earning on a side account. If you're just renting an apartment, nothing's going on for you, man.
No. Yeah.
Nothing's working for you. So, as we wrap, there's a lot of stuff here that I love for make sure people reach out and contact you. If somebody right now is feeling exposed right now,
sure,
they don't know where to go. They're not scared, but they're aware. They're like, I need to change something.
Sure.
What's the first step you think they should be taking?
Really just a conversation. We're not going to send them an application link. We're not going to make them go fill out a loan application. We're going to have a conversation. We're not going to do a hard credit pull. We're going to get to know them.
Yeah.
And we're going to find out how we can help them hit their goals.
Yeah.
So we'll feel like Jerry Maguire, like, help me help you. Show me the money. That's what we're there for.
Love it.
We are there to work for them.
Yeah.
So we just need to talk to them. They have to take that first step to say, hey, I don't even know if this is a good question or not, but here's where I am. And we can say, oh man, this is great. Yeah. Nothing to be embarrassed about. I promise I've seen way worse credit. I've seen way more debt. It's okay. We'll help you.
My people say, well, I'm at Chase. I'm at Wells Fargo, right? I'm at whatever bank. Why should I go with guys like you versus guys I see at my bank where I see people at my checking account and savings account?
Yeah, that's fair. We only make money when we do loans. So you know that we're incentivized to get things done. Plus we get them done really fast. We'll do a 10-day close. We'll guarantee 10-day close, or we'll pay the seller $1,000 a day for any day we go past it. So when we say you're pre-approved, we mean we've checked it and we will slam this thing through. We're like race car drivers. You get in the passenger seat and we'll make this happen. Yeah. You'll get a better deal on a house when we make a 10-day close offer. Yeah. When I call the listing agent and say, hey, I'm Monty Felts and I will get this done. I'll give your seller $1,000 a day for any day we go past closing, which has never happened. But if it did, we will put our money where our mouth is and we'll guarantee you. Plus, we'll keep you updated throughout the process.
Right.
You want that guy on your side to help you advise what's next. I'm not going anywhere.
Monty, have you, from the investor side, that are funding your loans?
Sure.
I'm just curious, are these investors? Are these private equity guys?
Yeah.
Because sometimes I've seen insurance companies get involved.
Sure. So we are the largest retail mortgage bank in the nation, Cross Country Mortgage, privately held by one man, Uncle Ron. We all love him. He is the most down-to-earth CEO, founder.
Yeah.
Spoke to him last Friday. We were at our executive leadership meetings out in California for our division. We have a great division. We kind of run it like a small company. Super tight, close super fast. It's amazing. So we get the best of both worlds. But we are the money.
Okay.
We are the money so when we say you're approved, it's not like we got to go check with somebody. We're not brokering this out. And I was a broker early on. That's part of the problem because I was a mortgage broker and I was brokering out to different lenders. And I get caught so many times with saying, okay, we can do it. And then them saying, oh, never mind. We reviewed it. We can't do it. And then I'm the one that took the fall.
Yep.
So that's ultimately when I met JJ and I said, what am I doing wrong?
Yep.
And he said, you got to be with a great mortgage bank.
Yep.
It's going to control the process. Because what does every buyer want when they're going through the home buying process? You think it's the rate, but it's not. They want the house.
Yeah, of course.
They want the house. Ultimately, that's what they want.
Right. Or free up cash flow, right?
Yeah, if you give them a great rate but no house, it's dumb. So we kind of joke about that.
Yep.
We get them the house. We make sure that it's done on the right terms, and then they can come back to us.
What about somebody says, you know what, even though I am at Chase, whatever, the guy told me I got no closing costs, whatever the case may be.
Sure.
I mean, where are they really saving money versus a guy like you? There are potential closing costs.
Sure.
Where's really the cost savings and the value?
There are always costs. There's cost to everything you're doing.
Yeah.
So if they say there's no cost
They're
to do
baked
this
in there
refinance,
somewhere.
they are,
Yep.
or make them prove it. Show me. And there's been times where I said, wow, this is incredible.
Yeah.
You should do this.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're doing this for you, but for whatever reason, they're doing it. I'm thinking of a lady right now buying a $3.4 million house in Florida. We're helping her. Her bank is competing really hard, 0% down.
Sure.
And I'm like, hey, that's a sweet deal. Do you want 0% down? Like, well, the rate's high and the fees are high. Like, yeah, I figured they would be. They're going to get you somewhere on that. Plus, I have to leave 1.5 million locked up in the bank. I can't touch it. I was like, okay, we could do 10% down. You'll have a great rate.
Right.
So yeah, I would say you just got to inspect what you expect,
Got it.
see what's there,
Gotcha.
and then just compare.
And you sent me a text a couple of days ago. You were having a conversation with somebody about insurance, and it's what sparked our exchange and text message back and forth. Why did that conversation about insurance, strike up hey, let me just reach back out to Matt and because these things do go hand in hand.
Sure. I think it's because my eyes were open last year to what life insurance can do for you, how you can become your own bank. You can play that game.
Yeah.
When you think about credit card companies and how much they're paying their executives, I'll tell you, because I've seen some of their W-2s, it's in the millions. They're not paying them millions just for the fun of it. It's because there's so much money in credit cards, in banks.
Yeah.
They're getting really rich.
Yep.
So if you can become your own bank, then nobody owns you anymore. Plus, you can leave your children, your grandchildren. I wrote a crazy trust. I made my trust attorney research because I said, I want to leave an inheritance to every generation, which is just math. So I showed her how if split the right way at the age of 30 and then at the age of 40 for every grandkid and every great-grandkid, that money could forever give each kid $1 million. Every grandkid, every great-grandkid, if you had a big enough life insurance policy to start with. So whether I die at 43 right now or I die at 103, I know I've set my family up with something that's generational wealth.
Yeah.
Now I got to teach them in the years I have left how to steward that wealth.
Amen.
How to be the Rockefellers, not the Vanderbilts.
There you go. That's right, because they lost all that. They lost
exactly.
And the Vanderbilts at one point were richer than the Rockefellers.
Exactly. Yes.
As we wrap up, what's one principle you want to remember for people making their next real estate or mortgage decision?
What I want them to remember? That life is short and there are people there that will help you. There are people out there like you, like me, that will help them, that truly are in it to get them what they want. And they can say, I don't even know if this is possible. but I want to leave my family $10 million. And I only have 100,000 saved up at this point. It's very possible.
Right.
It's very possible to do it. Let me show you the path.
Yeah.
You can create cash flow along the way so that you can do what I said a minute ago. One of my good friends, he coined that phrase, live your legacy long before you leave it. Make a difference on this world.
Yeah. I love it. Well, folks, if you've been paying attention on this podcast, this conversation wasn't just about rates. You think it was just about interest rates. Not. It was about control. Yeah. It was about legacy. It was about impact, and clarity always comes before the confidence. So with that being said, please put your biggest takeaway in the comment section below. We're going to have Monty's information here in the description column below too as well. And if you are in Frisco, we've got conversations like this happening all the time at our next Cigars, Wealth, and Whiskey event, February 12, 2026. And we're going to be right here in Frisco, and we're going to have the Global Strategy Officer, Jeff Karcher, showing up from the newly formed Texas Stock Exchange. You're going to be there. You already bought your ticket, right?
I already got my VIP ticket.
VIP ticket.
Yes.
And you're going to be Monty. If you have questions about real estate mortgages, make sure you connect with them there too as well, or beforehand. So therefore, you start building this relationship in the next 30, 60 days as this podcast release up until the February 12th event. That being said, guys, value like this every time on the Just Earn It podcast. That being said, if you haven't done it yet, smash that like button, smash the subscribe button. And until we meet again, continue to live smart, continue to love smart, and be money smart today.